Hi, David.
Hi, Lily. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. I'm well, thanks. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the fact that actually we were really surprised by how thinking about and discussing the ethics more formally than I think we originally planned was empowering to us, not finger wagging, which is sort of what we wanted to avoid in this course. We wanted a course which was going to sort of help people who are doing data science to sort of, be more responsible in their data without telling them, oh, you have to be ethical. And that was important to us. And I guess what we found, bringing the philosophers and the way they came into this course was just fantastic for us. It's changed my perspectives.
I do, and it's something that I've not had to think about before.
And I think this is the key point, that in some sense, in the past, I've always tried to think about ethics. I've tried to be responsible, but I've always sort of thought that the philosophical thinking about ethics, that's for others to worry about. Let me get on and do what I need to do. And I think part of what I've always sort of assumed is when I have engaged in such discussions, they get often lost in the details and sort of, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, is sort of what I always imagined. Whereas actually I found it's been the opposite. I found it's been empowering. And this is what we hope will come out of this course for others as well. That, I've come out of this with a much better understanding of how I should be thinking about these ethical considerations in different ways, in a way which means I'm not as afraid as I was before. I am very afraid in other ways because of the scandals we've been exposed to and so on. You're feeling you're still afraid.
I'm still afraid, and I think after doing the course, I'm more aware, and so I'm more afraid.
Well, I guess from my side it's slightly different because I was very aware before and I was very afraid. But actually, the way that I've engaged with the philosophers, has meant that actually I sort of, I understand better now that by having that awareness and acting on it, I am able to be responsible, in a way which I don't know that I would have been confident with before, because I didn't know what I didn't know. Whereas now, through the discussions with them, I'm more conscious of where the limits of my knowledge are. I still know there's a lot of things I don't know about the ethical side of this and the ethical considerations. But I guess that exposure to what they're considering and thinking about as they're doing this, has helped me to recognize that actually, I know where there are things I don't know, but I do know quite a lot, which I know I can be thinking about and bringing into my discussions and actually making explicit. Whereas I think in the past, I'd have been implicitly sort of shying away because I knew these were issues. So I found it empowering. That's what I hope others will find as well. You still find it scary.
I still find it empowering. I do find it empowering, but a little bit scary. But scary because you're realizing the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know.
Yeah.
And scary from that perspective of there's a lot I don't know here, but that's okay.
That's okay. And I guess one of the key points we learned from the philosophers is that, actually it's human not to know. It's okay to know that there are things you don't know. It's sort of, and that's absolutely human, and that's you can be responsible even when there are limits to your knowledge and what you can do. And that doesn't, being responsible is about understanding where those limits lie, and and therefore not acting beyond in ways which are irresponsible. But actually, by knowing about those limits more, we can be responsible, maybe. We'll come back to this after the end of the course, I guess.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, let's hope others take this away in the way that it's intended. The ethics, the extended ethics part of this course should empower you as a data scientist, as somebody who works with data scientists, to be able to sort of think responsibly about what you're using AI for. Let's hope. All the best.
And so, all the best.